It's, like I said, it seems a little quiet here today, but also that makes me nervous. So we're in week 8 of the legislative session. Um, we are seeing, or we have rumors floating around about different taxes and different changes that we will be keeping an eye on this week. House Ways and Means, they are continuing their discussion about different changes that can happen to increase the revenues of the state. Unitary combined reporting, again, that's for international and national companies. That is not on the calendar for this week, but we are going to continue to monitor that committee just to make sure that if it does come up, we can keep you posted. There's also discussion about the wealth tax. That's anyone who is making over a certain threshold will have an increase in income taxes. And then there's also, I shared a spreadsheet or a quick graphic of various potential taxes that could come up over the next couple of weeks. That includes candy taxes, sugar sweetened beverage taxes, also the sales tax as service. So the cloud tax, again, that is a huge issue. All three of those are major issues that we are monitoring. It's a lot of talk this week, nothing that is really moving at the moment, but it is Tuesday. Everyone's just getting back into the building. So we will do our best to be monitoring discussions throughout Ways and Means, throughout Senate Finance. Let's see, Human Services will also be monitoring that, as well as about 3 or 4 different committees about taxes and different regulations. One of those committees is also the House Government Operations Committee. There is a rumor that there's a discussion going around about increasing or changing the beer tax. We have yet to see that language, but as soon as that comes out, I know that Representative Matt Byron is running a little behind today, so I'll be doing my best to find him this afternoon and hopefully having a conversation about what he's thinking and where that proposal will be. I know that's a big issue for a handful of our members that are on this call. Also, S18, that's the bill that would ban flavored tobacco. There was a rumor that was flying around late last week that they were proposing to push the effective dates back a year, which would essentially have a negative or no impact whatsoever on the state revenues for this year. And so they were thinking they could kick the can down the street. But again, that has actually not come to fruition yet. There has been a proposed amendment that will be discussed in Human Services this afternoon. It's more a narrowing of the definition of what would be banned, and that's flavored nicotine instead of flavored tobacco. I'll be in that committee listening to discussion. I'll be on a call after that about the issue as well. Let's see, a couple other things that they're focusing on this week are how to respond and better support communities in response of natural disasters. So we're keeping an eye on that for local communities across the state. And then the data privacy bill, there will be additional conversation about the data privacy bill that will impact retailers that work with third-party data processors or who collect customer data, and it will change it may change, I should say, how you manage that data and what you will be required to communicate to customers if you change how you manage it. I will be sending out, we have signed on to a letter that will be distributed to the House Commerce Committee. One big piece of that data privacy bill is the private right of action So essentially, if there is a data breach, a retailer would be susceptible um, to being sued by consumers. The last thing we want is to place a small business or any large business, frankly, at the helm of being sued by their customers. There are different remediation opportunities, but it's certainly not something that we're comfortable with passing. We have called on the Attorney General in that letter, to enforce any type of bill that moves forward and eliminate the burden on retailers or any business that would be impacted. So we will continue that conversation. We've had pretty productive conversations with the leader on the bill, Representative. I just lost her name. Monique Priestley, and the chair of the committee, Mike Marcotte, who is also a VRGA member. So I continue to have an open line with them. Last piece before I stop rambling is retail crime. That was a huge topic of discussion at the beginning of the legislative session. Unfortunately, it looks like the committee has taken a step back, and they are not finding much value in passing any legislation because the courts are so backed up. They're focusing their time on trying to get the courts less backed up before they move forward with any legislation that would aggregate incidents across the state. I'll continue to have conversations with the chair of the committee. My hope is that I can get a handful or two handfuls of members to come in and testify, have conversations with that committee to see if we can get that bill back at the forefront of the conversation. That was a lot and not in depth. So I'll stop there and take questions, and then I'm happy to follow up if needed. Anyone have questions?
Hey, Aaron, on the privacy bill, do you expect a new draft or kind of any timeline for when any changes would be made?
That's a great question. I would anticipate a new draft. I don't know if we will see that this week, but again, I will hopefully have a conversation with the committee chair and a better understanding about timeline. I think just the sheer concern that we have from every industry, from every representative of an industry, I think that there will be a longer discussion about how to proceed. So I think that plays into into the timeline as well.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Thoughts, feedback, questions? Like I said,
what's the beer tax all about? I haven't heard much about that one, that change you said.
So I was hoping you wouldn't ask, Trisha. I know that my understanding is that the distillers are looking to increase the beer tax in order to essentially make them closer to like the spirits and beer would have similar tax rates. Like I said, I have not seen the language, but as soon as I get it, I'm happy to keep you all posted. We have some concerns about increasing that beer tax. Obviously, we're talking about pushing people further out of state again to purchase their products. But as soon as I get that language, I'm happy to send a quick update. Any other questions? Concerns? Nothing? No questions? Nothing? Okay. Well, As soon as I get, like I said, it's been quiet today. The house has just gotten off the floor. So as soon as we have any updates on those bills, I'm happy to push out quick updates to each of you. I see who's on, so I'll do my best to give you individual messages and keep you all posted on what's moving and what's not moving this week. And stay tuned for retail crime. My hope is that we can have a group of you come in within the next 2 or 3 weeks, and hopefully we can reinvigorate the conversation. So please feel free to shoot me any emails. Again, we're back to being short-staffed again, so I will do my best to respond in a timely manner. If you do have questions, you have my cell phone, so feel free to give me a call as well. Finally, last piece is we do have a webinar set up with a consultant from New Hampshire about the REAP program that would provide retailers with up to, I want to say it's up to $500,000 in grant funding to make energy efficient updates to your business. So that's at 3 o'clock. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email info@VTRGA or Alyssa, ALYSSA @VTRGA, and she can get some information to you. But in the meantime, I will be in touch via email, but don't hesitate to reach out if you have further questions.